but we have seen him within the Challenger Cups. One of the only players in the league to have taken down Foxy in one of our weeklies of Pro League Season 3. So definitely no slouch. And a real, I guess, the guy likes sort of really rinsing what makes Shiryu Takeda so hard to deal with. I mean, like, I don't think there is a Shiryu player out there that rinses that hard to blockable stuff as often as Doc does. It's like if he's got a bar of meter and he lands a hit, that will, without fail every time, lead into that hard to blockable stuff, which does work so well in a game like MKX.
But that's what gives Takeda his big comeback factor in Shiryu is that hard to blockable stuff. And if you're gonna make the most of it, then that does give you quite a good comeback factor. It means it's quite hard to stay composed, because a lot of people will save the bar. They'll try and they'll let someone live because they're like one hit away or a throw away from death. But against someone that's willing to really just spend it all for a comeback, you kind of have to think. You have to manage your meter differently against players like that. You have to be a little bit more careful depending on how you're going. And let's not forget, Doc started off as a Ronin Takeda player. Yeah. That's where he really started this season. And I don't know how long he's been playing both variations, but we've said for a long time that a player that's willing to use both of the variations for character, if both of them are so good and cover so many matchups between them, then that's dangerous. And Doc is kind of that player for us now.
Right, looks like both players are good to go. We're going to get stuck into our first match of this series. Vectorman is a player that we have seen a couple of times. I think we pretty much saw him his first time last Challenger Cup using mainly pretty much all
Wrestler
Jacks.
Yeah,
it was Wrestler Jacks. But in the qualifying stages, we've actually seen this guy has gone with Possessed Kenshi in the past. So, I mean, I think I'm always going to naively kind of hold out for maybe at one point we'll finally see some Kenshi action in the Pro League or Challenger Cup. We haven't really seen it yet.
Well,
Pig of the Hut being the only real major Kenshi out there right now.
We've seen Kenshi here and there, but really he is one of the weaker characters in the game without a doubt. So obviously you have to put a lot of work in with a character like that. In comparison, like if you can play Jax and he covers the matchups you need, then why play Kenshi, I suppose? But it looks like he is going to go to Wrestler Jax. Now, Doc, what variation is this?
Ronin. Ronin has actually gone, he's gone for the Ronin pick. This is, against Jax, is kind of interesting because, I mean, on a good read, normally safe armor can be somewhat armor broken by the blade. Cool if you read it. Being able to pressure Jax and bait out an unsafe reversal was quite likely as well. And just like that little step back into, I think, the back two or the back one right there, just catching that first hit, knowing that, oh wow, spending both bars on it too, 44% just like that. And he has Vectorman in the corner now. We've seen Vectorman before. This guy likes his reversals. Oh no, he was not fuzzying. He was not fuzzy guarding that mix-up. And spends one of his only bars on that. Yeah, Doc's going to go straight in for damage right there. Cashing out the wake-up knee just in case he pressed a button, and he does have him in the corner. This actually could be a change of momentum.
I mean, this is all style of that meterless wake-up, but I agreed with the wake-up entirely, because if he blocked it, I mean, he still would have flew over Doc's head, so he still would have got out the corner, and that was clearly what he was going for there, because being cornered against Ronin isn't exactly the funnest thing in the world. And again, that nice backdash in the whiff punish drops his combo, and Vectorman with a quick wake-up recovery punish.
Now, Vectorman's going to have to be extremely careful when it comes to trying to sort of get in against Doc. If Doc's going to be playing that footsie game, sitting ever so slightly out of range of those normals and whiff punishing with back 1-1, I mean, that's what Ronin's going to do all day.
And there's that meter burn beam as well. Wonderful. It's only
nice.
On a full screen conversion off a recall. Wonderful stuff. 15% damage, corner positioning. Vectorman 3 bars to work with. There's the armor. Doc, you can tell he's stand blocking. He's trying to bait it, but at the last possible second he hesitates.
You very rarely see that these days, where someone baits armor.
Oh, wow, another one.
And then at the last minute hesitates and does it anyway. Oh no, that's going to do it. That's going to do it, guaranteed. He's going to convert off that. Nice damage, and that's going to be game number 1 to Doc.
Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why would Vectorman get hit by the launching part of that string? And the answer is simple. So many Takeda players now will kind of use Ronin's back 1-1 as Melina's back 1-2. Obviously, Melina's back 1-2 being the 2 side stabs. We see Spoxy do that a lot.
They do serve very, very similar purposes.
That's exactly it. Ronin players and piercing players kind of agree they are similar, and they do the same kind of job. So normally, you're used to back 1-1 being the end of that, and back 1-1-2 being the launcher. You're used to that first 2 hits being where it ends. So maybe you can poke, you can press a button, you can armor. But if he finishes the launcher, like, you're not going to react to him finishing the launcher between pressing buttons. You're just going to expect he's not going to finish it. So if you're pressing buttons and he finishes that launcher, that's meterless, it's free, and that's big damage if it's going to kill you at the end of the game like that.
Especially if you're ready to hit confirm it as well. Just see it hit. I mean, it launches for quite a while.
That's
so
super easy hit confirm.
Oh, and he goes in for the instant neutral jump punch, probably trying to catch a button press, goes in for the meter burn beam just to crush that projectile and secure first hit again.
Oh, Vectorman, let's go, block. Gets hit by running through.
I mean, that's the thing. Quick cool after that is extremely plus, and back 1-1 very fast as well. If you're gonna challenge it and press a button, you can eat that all day.
But that's what I'm seeing from Vectorman. It doesn't quite look like he really knows when he can and can't press buttons, and that is exactly what you need to know against a character like Ronin.
It looks like Vectorman's just getting extremely locked down. He's having a very, very hard time getting through this. Oh, and he gets tagged again, though. Doc ready for the hit confirm on that, just getting the down 1 into launch, and he's getting completely mauled at the moment.
Now, before, like, is the call a low?
The blade call.
The blade call is that low. So in game 1, Doc hit him with like the last hit of forward 1-2-2-4 being an overhead.
It's not 50-50 because it's fuzzyable, but it's a mix-up.
But it was a mix-up in last game. At that point, there was nothing under him. Vectorman just had to stand block and that was it. Unless he just tried to interrupt maybe, but you can't interrupt there, so a bit peculiar.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened right there, but unfortunately, Vectorman, again, getting tagged by that back one. Doc's going to spend a bar just to get the damage. I mean, Vectorman's definitely sitting comfortably at a good amount of meter.
Ooh, oh, wow, no. The read. And that was a mid as well. It must have been an execution error. There's no way he thought that was going to be anything but point blank.
I do not think that was intentional. Vectorman has to use break. I was about to say that like Vectorman was in a good situation. We might have seen some obvious armor because he had 3 bars, but I don't know, just threw it all away with that ground pound.
Oh, when there's that clean anti, Vectorman had the lead, but unfortunately he's kind of just, he's not managed to keep hold of it, and that wonderful meter burn, I just feel like Vectorman's jumping too much.
This is an element of Takeda that is highly underrated, and I was actually talking to Hayate at the Season 3 finals, where Ronin Takeda is one of the most underrated zoners in the whole game. Like, he's got crazy rushdown, he's got good space control, he's got good mids, good range. However, the general tool set that Ronin has, with that you've got the low toss, you can crush certain things, you've got good space in your limbs, you've got a good projectile, like, the thing about, he zones you incredibly well, especially a character like Jax that under all circumstances must get in, and you've got to reflect, so you can't be counter-zoned.
Well, especially over the last month, like particularly, we are seeing that put to use and understand why, because it's not even just the tools he has, it's the fact he can convert off so much of it as well. Like if you're trying to get in from full screen and you get tagged by a blade call and you're not like firmly on the ground, he is going to get a full combo from that into a wonderful situation. Because that's another thing about Ronin. If he touches you and his setup is correct, he's always going to have some kind of advantage, which is exactly what you need. And that's a nice jump in from Vectorman. Doc doesn't manage to air to air. Oh, but a combo drop is going to be a mistake. Almost called that a wonderful combo drop. That's the exact opposite of what I meant.
Tags the back 2-1. That's going to be a full combo. And he's going to save the bar just to opt to get the hard knockdown. That's the sort of setup that Ronins do so often right now, where they'll generally sort of just do that run in down 3. We're sort of low profile, certain wake-up attacks, and on hit will guarantee pressure.
Vectorman's going to opt to break. Oh, wow.
And Doc's always ready for that reflect, without fail, every single time.
Well, unfortunately, Vectorman isn't that. That's 2 for 2. He's thrown a projectile and thrown a second one while his own projectile comes back at him. I think he needs to be ready more for what Ronin's going to bring, because like it's a lot of utility, but Vectorman just isn't respecting it.
Oh, I don't like that decision to go for a second backdash and give up any space you had up close. The second he went for that I think the second he went for that backdash, he just guaranteed that round loss.
But as usual, this can be 3 out of 5, double elimination top 4. So if Vectorman loses this round, he is still going to be in it. But Doc 1 round away from advancing already.
And I don't like that as well. That string completely whiffed. That was a free stand-up combo for Vectorman. There was no reason to go for that wake-up meterless. He had a full combo on his plate right in front of him.
Oh, no anti-cross-up.
Does get a good wake-up as well. Oh, and he tags him with the raw overhead, and that could be it. Vectorman has to use break, but one more tag will do it if he has no breaker available.
Oh, gets tagged again, but no stamina to run in for the 2-1, and Doc just plays it safe. And again, Vectorman pressing buttons, and that's a clean game. 3-0 for Doc moving forward. We haven't seen his Ronin in the Pro League or on streams in general in quite a while, so I'm really happy that he's brought it out today, and he's clearly, like, this is better than I've ever seen his Ronin before.
But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we're at a point where so many Ronin players are starting to kind of almost complete the moveset. It's not just pressure anymore. I know when Ronin first was kind of buffed and things like the 2-1 restands were all given, like, there was kind of like a very one-dimensional kind of flowcharty way that Ronin was played, and that it's all about just quick call into buttons, and that's kind of it. But now we're kind of seeing the extra element of Ronin. We're seeing zoning, we're seeing space control, we're seeing baits, reads, all the stuff where it's not just I'm going to throw the blade on the floor and keep pressing buttons, or the game plan is not when are you going to try and armored interrupt my mix-ups. Like, there is so much more to playing Ronin now. Like, getting things like ending certain combos in the corner into beam because it's plus on hit, or ending things on meter burn beam because it's plus on block without. It's just these extra little elements that we didn't see before, but we're starting to see it all the time now.
I think it's because, like, as Mortal Kombat X has developed as a game, Ronin has developed